such an important thing to do to express ourselves and make sure that everybody's aware of mental health. I chose mental health as a psychiatrist because I felt that I had such a pain in my life that I wanted to solve that.
How India is far behind to reach that place where they can consult a therapist so easily.
Here's the difference. I think in the US,
So based on your experiences, so can you judge any people by their look, that what they're thinking, what they're is he or she is telling lie or not?
So you have been in US and you have been in India for quite long now. So you have definitely saw both the clients in US who are getting divorced and in India as well. So what is the most common reason in US of getting a divorce, and what is the most common reason in India of getting a divorce?
nobody's perfect. There's no perfect human being. I want a psychiatrist or mental health professionals that have gone through it, that have survived it, and now that are thriving.
Can you tell me the difference between the psychosis and schizophrenia, and what are the symptoms of it, so that the people can, I am having this kind of behavior in myself, so I need to consult someone right now.
Hello guys, I'm Shomujit Bhattacharya from Niti. So today on our podcast, we have one of the most experienced therapists who is practicing for last 30 years, 25 years in USA and 7 years in India. So he's bringing all his knowledge, experience that is going to help you all to cater the real life problems that you are facing, from childhood trauma to divorces that are happening to extramarital affairs. Every aspect of your life is going to be touched by our guest today. So please let me introduce you,
Dr. Ranjan Ghosh.
who is with us today.
I'm Dr. Ranjan Gosh. I'm an American board certified psychiatrist in child as well as adult. I've been practicing, like they said, for 30 years. And I want you guys to understand that I founded Good Karma for these type of activities. So my slogan is think good, do good. But I'm with Niti today. And their slogan is speak up and reach out.
Welcome to our show, sir. We are really glad to have you over here. So please tell us something about yourself to our audience, and definitely how you chose this career path, psychology.
Right. So, hi. First of all, thank you guys for having me. What a wonderful venture. I think it's such an important thing to do to express ourselves and make sure that everybody's aware of mental health.
Yes.
And I chose mental health as a psychiatrist because I felt that I had such a pain in my life that I wanted to solve that. And the ultimate way, because Baba said you have to go to medical school, just like every good Indian kid. So I did that. I did pretty well in my studies, and I got to Manipal. But I found myself more interested in what the person was experiencing and what they were feeling. Less of like feeling like I had to cure what they were going through, but I wanted to help them while they were going through. So
Okay.
I felt like I was really good at it, actually.
Yeah.
So then I started training, like it was my 20s, I guess.
So there's a question right in your mind that what type of people are thinking, what is the thinking capacity of any people before consulting with you. So that's what motivates you to come in this field, and you want to judge the people that what differences we can perceive by talking with people. It's a kind of motivating factor for you, right?
It is, yeah. Because what happens is like when somebody bears their soul to you,
Yeah.
it's kind of like doing surgery.
Yeah.
So like if somebody doesn't voluntarily do that, and I keep asking them questions, that's kind of being rude.
Yeah,
Because that's like involuntary surgery.
Well,
And then they're not wanting to answer you, but you're getting the information. That's not a good way to do therapy, right? Think about it. So when you have a voluntary thing, it easily comes out,
yeah.
and that makes you feel better.
Feel better.
So, and the person.
So based on your experiences, so can you judge any people by their look, that what they're thinking, what they're is he or she is telling lie or not? It's a different field. I'm just asking in a very random
you can't. I mean, from
Yeah.
behavior, body behavior. I mean, that is the thing, right?
Yeah.
Like when this thing was happening with the rape trial and you know.
We will talk it.
Yeah, I'm just being I'm being realistic. And they asked me on the news channels if I can tell. Of course, I can tell.
Yeah.
You can tell, but I can even tell further. 30 years. I'm not a psychic. Everybody thinks
no, that's
you know,
that's a very
psychiatrist, mental
different
health, like
organization.
he'll get in my head or something. No, but because of behavior and stats, I can almost guess what's happening.
Okay.
So like by looking at the person, by seeing what their problem is, how they came in, why they came in, what age group they are. So then in my head, it's like a computer. It's like AI. It's like boom, boom, boom.
All
So
the
It's
information
checking.
start tracking.
Okay, for sure this guy has bipolar.
okay. Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Like
Okay,
within
so-
like 10 minutes.
So what is the
Within
difference?
10 minutes.
Within
Like
10
in
minutes.
half an hour will they like
So can you please,
prescription, treatment plan. That's how good. Like, I've become that good. Because it's my passion, right? Like this
So,
is what
sir,
I love.
Till now, also in India,
Yeah.
psychology or anything related to your mental health is still a taboo.
Right.
So, what inspires you to pursue such line in such country when things are pretty much tough to enter? First, definitely it was a huge entry barrier,
Right.
and then and second of all, the problem of acceptance from the user side or the people's side is very hard.
Yeah.
So, what motivates you or what inspires you
Good
to go
question.
into this field?
Very good question. The hardest place to run a business, if you say anywhere, is Calcutta, India. Just try it. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere, bro.
yeah.
I'm just saying, okay. But in America, it was so easy. I just had to sign on insurance programs. I'm a registered doctor. It's like money's coming in. All great. Here, you're fighting another layer of stigma. So honestly, well, see, like if I had to do this mandatorily, like I had a kid in college or something, bro, no, it's not happening in India. It's not happening. It's just not happening.
Obviously, yeah.
I mean, I can't expect that. I can't. But now I have the luxury of doing it my way and correctly, and it's just an amazing feeling. Niji look, I'm doing it for my people, and just being able to do it my way when you know you can document it and do it well is a great thing. Now, going back to your question, why? We have the highest freaking suicide rate in the world
Yes.
from age 15 to 29.
Yes.
You guys figure out why. There's so many reasons. I'm sure you guys can tell me what your pressures are. You know?
Definitely.
Like,
Definitely.
I'm sure the audience can say
People-
15 to 29, right? You have to get married. You have to choose a career. We have to pass some exams. We have to probably then get a kid between that time. Bro.
Yeah.
Like something always is expected of us
And
as a South Asian community. And that is just not healthy.
That's
You know, like when we used to freak out in the US, that was our time to freak out. Imagine that's the highest suicide rate here because of the pressure. There's no freaking out going on. There's
Right.
like the total polar opposite.
So that in India, there's a huge competition for everything. If you
Right.
go any field, there's a huge competition.
That's it.
So the suicide rates are pretty much high over here because of this competition and all. So do you think that if anybody comes to you
Right.
with some sort of problem, like they are facing competitive exam or they are pursuing some competitive exam, they are facing this, what kind of solution do you think one can take from a psychologist so that they can eventually like take a better path rather than, of course, going
Any,
to the
any
final.
mental professional, okay, is good. But you should be picky because, again, there's some good ones, there's some bad ones. So you don't want to be scared away from mental health. But yes, exam stress is a common thing,
Right.
right?
very common.
So it's a common thing. It's just a billion people competition. That's a little bit harsh.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's a little bit more high stakes here.
Yeah.
So that high stakes, you should talk to someone. Now, they're saying, hey, Karka, they're saying, hey, dude, don't talk about it. You just need to be tough. Everyone else is doing it. Sharma ki beta, he's doing it.
Same.
Right. So
Chartered
like everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
Why aren't you doing it?
Right. So,
But everyone's not meant to be a doctor, lawyer, engineer, bro.
Yeah.
Please understand that. There's so many careers out there.
But how to deal with this type of suppose I'm living in a very stereotype kind of household. Okay, so
Sure.
there are many doctors in my household, but I want to pursue my career in arts field. So there is always a peer pressure around me that you cannot be an artist. You just need to be a doctor. So how that student, how they can approach to their parents so they can pursue their own career.
Now, I think it's a bit easier, guys. Like now with AI in the market, I think parents' narrative has totally changed.
Okay.
I mean, I'm being honest. Like, if you think about it, the know-it-alls from my generation, who are the parents, don't know anything.
Yeah.
If you think about technology in the future. So now we're in a very interesting position. Before I would have said, you have to show them, prove it to them how dedicated you are, this and that. Now AI can prove it for you.
right.
Like, what's the point of an MBA? you can see Harvard grads, 57%. Kam named them
Obviously, it's
after Harvard,
scenario.
which is $1 million process.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Ivy School.
you guys got to figure it out. You guys are smarter than me. I'm a psychiatrist, but I went through medicine first. It makes me a super doctor.
Oh.
So we think about it for a second, like how things are changing and how fast.
Rapidly. So our next question is: we have done some research on this field of psychology, and
Sure.
there are some branches: clinical psychology, neuropsychology. Can you please describe or tell us something about those branches, and what are the problems they cater on each branch, so that we can, our audience and us also, get to know about?
Sure, I'll just go briefly. So when we talk about there's psychiatry and psychology. Psychiatry is you go to medical school. I went to Manipal, and then you super specialize. So I super specialize in UT Southwestern Dallas in America. Psychology is the same, but you don't go to medical school. And you just go 4 years for the bachelor's and another 4 years for master's. And then you do get licensed. So it's about the same amount of years if you look at it. But to get a license in America, both say about the same. In fact, the doctor's a bit less than the psychologist.
Yes.
So I trust the psychologist there because the rigorous system. Here, we're still undergoing a change on what a psychologist or a mental health professional should be. In India, we're still confused. Like, we don't know what a register RCI number should be. We don't understand why a psychologist can't be that.
Okay.
I don't understand because I used to have a team of 12 psychologists under me in the US. That's how we got big, right? Like, I'm only one person. I can be the brainchild, but there has to be people.
Right.
So that if we want to impact change, that's why I'm doing this show with you guys. So we want to impact change, right? So there's no system in India yet to really quantify it, but there is corporate psychology.
Okay.
There is forensic psychology. There is geriatric psychology. There's child psychology. I can go on and on. There's addiction psychology. There's many fields.
There are plenty of fields.
Right.
So you were telling me the system in India of
It's
selecting
not
psychologists.
It's kind of in the building stage, I guess. It's non-existent almost.
So right now we can say it is pretty much broken, right?
It's great.
So even if right now anybody who is watching our show and thinks to take a consultation with any of the psychologists in India only, how they can verify that the particular psychologist is good or bad? What are the key things they can just to verify that person?
That's really tough unless you visit them. You know that? You can see them, they might look great on paper. And how would you know if they're a good fit for you? The way I do it is generation. So if I'm the treatment plan guy, so they come to me first, usually, they should. So I'm the doctor, I make the plan. The plan would be, let me get Nayonika and let me get this person because they're a good fit. Okay? Suppose they have a dad issue. I would be the better therapist. in that case. Okay? Like a lot of people have father issues.
Right.
So I'm the better therapist in that case because we're going to go through that.
Right.
Now, if you have another maternal issue, you should go through that both. And sometimes you need both perspectives.
Both perspective on
So
this.
it depends on what stage of healing you're truly in and what's your goal. Because there could be a long-term goal and a short-term goal. I prefer the short-term goals because we can fix families and move on quickly. But a lot of people want to be under my treatment for long periods because they want analysis of themselves. And that also people do. But, that's rare, and I choose those very carefully because you're spending so much time with one patient opposed to helping many patients.
So let's come to this division, like short-term treatments and long-term treatments, let's say for a moment.
Right.
So can you please tell us some of the experiences that you have with patients of any particular disease or any particular problem they are facing, and some long-term problem that stays throughout the life, and a particular patient have to take care of those problems throughout their life using meditation or
hopefully natural methods.
hopefully natural way. And again, some short-term problems, like one of the few of the short-term problems right now has arisen in India especially is, one is definitely divorce. Extramarital affairs is something that we got. Again, study or educational pressure is something. Unemployment rates are high. So we can definitely going to talk about both of it. Let's start with the long-term problems that one person actually faced throughout their life.
Right.
So can you please talk about or tell our audience some of the big problems or long-term problems one might have?
Yeah, that's true. So it's just how we evaluate someone. I think we talked briefly about it in the pre-stage, but we look at a person as a biological issue. So that means family history, what symptoms, what's happening in their actual thing right now, medical symptoms, this issues, all the symptoms, all the genetic disposition, all that is biological. What they're putting into their body, they're smoking, they're drinking, coffee intake, all that. Okay, and biological. Then psychological. Okay, so psychological, meaning that what is actually how they were raised, what position of child did they come, what is their analysis of their home life, did they get object constancy, which is a fancy word for having a mom and dad that love you very much and so showed it, which we're also void of South Asian families. But if we have these things, that's a psychological template. Okay, so we have that. Then and their defense mechanisms,
Right.
what they do to kind of cope. Okay, then we look at social stresses, what you just mentioned,
Yes.
acute and chronic.
Okay.
Chronic is the long-term stressors, like my mom passed away a long time ago, right? Or acutely, I have a financial issue, which we hear the most.
Right.
Or student exams.
Student
right?
exams for sure.
So these are biopsychosocial. So in half an hour, I get to analyze that person and give them that plan of what I saw in them.
Okay.
Like, for example, I'll give you an example. This is a kind of a lofty example, but you need a father and mother object. It's called paternal and maternal object. Suppose my maternal object is missing. My bio mom is not really in my life, blah, blah, blah. I'm always searching for this object. Okay? I'm searching for that love from females in the wrong ways.
In
You know
other
what I mean?
ways. Yeah.
In a very transactional way, because I also didn't understand love in that way. Okay? And so as that happens, I can create dependencies towards negative things. So that means a dependent personality trait. I can create avoidance status, like be a mass people pleaser, right?
Yes.
Where, I'm always people pleasing others over myself because I don't want conflict, because I saw jhagra.
Yes.
I
And
saw
one-
that at home, right? Like straight out war. And then number 3 is that I can also have a fear of abandonment because I didn't get that love. That object was missing. So when this object's missing, I'm actually choosing someone that's not good for me. So I'll give you a funny example. Like, it's like if me, Doc G, goes into a strip club and goes, yeah, that girl that 5 guys are betting on, that's the one I want to be my wife. Like, that girl only. She has 3 babies from 3 different baby daddies, but I will cure her and her 3 children. So you see what I've done, right? I've gone there. I've chosen someone that's probably going to abandon me and probably lower than my level. So it's going to hurt the most. So then what is that? That's self-sabotage.
Okay.
That really didn't happen, guys. Please don't. It's on the internet. So, I mean, but you know what I mean? This is like my silly example of what object constancy looks like. If you're always self-sabotaging in relationships, you're going to find that girl that's not good for you or find that guy that's not good for you. That's going to happen if you have a missing object.
Okay.
And you have to go through that pain to kind of make amends.
So it's the same.
So that's happening all the time in India, by the way.
Yeah.
These decisions that people take,
Yeah.
what we see that another person is completely crazy or something. Why you are taking this decision? This is something we often say to our friends who actually does this kind of work. So this is actually coming from past life, like much earlier of their life because of the circumstances they have been through.
That's the objects. So yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. So imagine those 2 objects. That's your childhood. Your definition of love is by those 2 objects. So if those 2 objects are not solid and they're not which again does not happen in Indian culture, in a culture of arranged marriages,
Right.
that they're going to see it the same way, then it's going to be a problem. You're going to think of love in a negative way. And that's the point of reference that you have subconsciously. So subconsciously, then, if my parents are divorced, which they are, then I'm going to think divorce is love. And I got a divorce. So that's a psychological template. I was fighting it, but no matter what, it's subconsciously inbuilt.
Okay.
So it's pretty strong, actually.
So is there any solution?
Yeah,
How
of
to
course.
cope up?
Therapy.
Okay. So this
Therapy. So, yeah, if I had gotten therapy as a child, it would have been probably better while my parents were undergoing the divorce. But I went to boarding school, so that's a different type of therapy. But I loved it. It made me a doctor. It made me North Point. But yeah, I think what happens is you really need to get that therapy where you're hurting. And that's why I think I became a psychiatrist, like going back to what we said in the beginning, to figure out that hurt and figure out what I'm just telling you right now.
That's a great point, actually.
Achha, so, wow, this is really
You got blown away, bro.
Okay, First of all,
Sorry, let me swallow.
in the beginning, you've told that there are many patients you have saw that have bipolar disorder. Okay, so let's just give some definition to the audience. What is bipolar disorder?
Yeah.
First of all, let's just talk about it. The schizophrenic, the
People are
psycho-
using so many
Yeah.
terms. Guys, stop using these
Yeah.
terms, man. Narcissist, bipolar, AOE. Like, you guys are just too much now. Neurodivergent, neurotypical. Like, bro, stop it. All right. So, bipolar is actually a genetic condition that happens. Okay, depression can happen anytime after puberty, and for women, anytime after menses. Anytime. Okay? Kids usually can get depressed, it's very rare, but usually happens after adolescence. Okay?
Oh.
Now, the manic state of bipolar, that's unipolar depression, which is, your interests go away.
Okay.
You feel very low moods. You feel like stuff which your problem only. Everything is your fault. Okay. Kya farak? Living. Like, what's the point of living?
Okay.
So that's how depressive is. It gets that severe. Okay? Then appetite decreases, problems with sleep. Then you're feeling fatigued all the time. This is low energy.
Okay.
Low thoughts, but anxieties, but low. Here, we have hypomania. And hypomania, that happens from 21 to 31 typically. And what happens there is that you get an abundance of energy. You can't sleep. You have a lot of thoughts in your head that they don't stop. They just keep bothering you until you get headaches sometimes. And the thoughts are so racing that they don't allow you to sleep or eat. So as you progress in this, you're not sleeping, you're not eating, you start doing weird stuff that are not in reality. You start shopping a bunch to get your dopamine levels high.
Okay.
You start even being hypersexuality, God forbid, because that's also increasing dopamine. Or you go on short trips or long trips because that also increases dopamine. So all these things start happening, and what happens is then reality totally goes. So then it's like paranoid delusions, hyper-religiosity, grandiosity, thinking you're the best in the world. So notice this low self-esteem
Yes.
and
yes,
depression,
yes.
super high self-esteem.
Due to
Kanye,
the dopamine.
Kanye,
dopamine
where
content.
he's just like, I'm the best. I'm Jesus. I'm God.
Okay.
Like, say like that.
So, actually, in this particular bipolar disorder, let's say, so there is no balance on their emotions. Either it is absolute low or either it is absolute high. But so, this particular problem has been faced by plenty of people. And today, right now,
I think our rates are just even hidden because if you look at the research papers, they try to do a good job, but I don't think people admit to this.
people won't admit to their
and in
darkness.
the village, though, they won't even know what it is. Like, yeah,
It's a pretty normal
so
for
it's not even a point to even do studies. But yes, go ahead.
But so how long does this what do you call transition of energy one actually face?
So-
Like, is it just for 1 or 2 days, or
Yeah, so good point. 3 days is hypomania, and we call that hypomania, which is
Achha.
a little bit less than mania. And mania is for greater than 7 days and running. So it can go on for months even.
month?
Yeah, because think about the people that I have to see, guys. I see people because they don't think they have a problem for their whole life because they're smart. Bipolar people are very intelligent, hyper intelligent, because their mind is working faster than normal people.
Okay.
Okay? So most of the bipolar people you see are highly intelligent, but they think so hard and so fast that they lose their positioning and they get confused and they overthink every step. Aise karega to theek hoga to. Like, aise karega to, like, they get confused. So they overthink so much that they're so intelligent. So then what happens is they lose sight of reality.
Achha.
Okay?
So can we say for a moment every big entrepreneur who might have this problem? Let's say for Elon Musk, what we can say. Do you think he has bipolar disorder?
I mentioned Kanye already, but I guess, okay, Elon Musk, I feel like substance-induced mania. Like, I think he's taking stuff to make him more hyper.
Okay.
Like,
He's
it makes
taking
sense.
stuff.
Yeah, because
It used to be I used to idolize him, like when he used to do the SpaceX.
Yes.
And then he changed when he did the X or
Yeah.
Twitter.
Okay,
You know, he
yes,
changed
yes.
a lot. And that he was pretty chubby then. And he went from chubby to very skinny.
Yes.
So there's like little signs that you can tell when you look at a person, like why they're changing.
Okay.
So bipolar, honestly, you can always lose weight, but he did it very rapidly, and he just acts weird. He
That's
acts
right.
weirder than most, and I think it's control because sometimes he's absolutely normal.
Yes.
Like for example, Kanye is never normal. Like no
Yeah.
disrespect again, Kanye, love your music, but I just feel like he is just fighting that label. Like many of for me, a person is a person. Kanye would always be Kanye. Elon would always be Elon. But I just know what to give them, what medicine to give them. If I call them bipolar, if I give them an antidepressant, I can actually make them worse. So
That's
here's normal, here's depression,
Depression.
and here's mania. Okay,
That's right.
so they're depressed, but they have bipolar. We didn't ask the history. We didn't ask, in your family, did you have, ups and downs, blah blah blah. They get so they go cure depression, but then they become psychotic. They start
Okay.
acting angry.
Yeah.
They start getting super happy. They start getting super excitable because the antidepressant in their body was not good.
Okay, so
So this is a common thing, guys. Because if I look at you, you guys can have bipolar. You guys are normal-looking, functional people.
yes, yes.
But that doesn't mean jack.
Right.
But here in India, there's an illusion. So take it.
So, ठीक है.
But he's not. You're judging him for being take on the outside. Like, come
Right.
on, bro. That's not how it works.
बाप रे. So right now, what we can see, there is a new thing called hookup culture that actually came from West to India right
Situationships.
So what is
now. Plenty of shifts. Right?
there are many shapes right now.
Right now, there are plenty of shifts. Like few days ago only, when me and my few school friends were
I think it's funny, but yes.
yeah, like there are plenty of ships right now, and every other ship is going down, and worse than Titanic, I would say. Just jokes apart. Anyway, so sir, do you think that this situationship and relationship, what we call this hookup culture, is somewhat related to this problem, bipolar disease? Like people who are just acting out of their problem.
Yeah, I mentioned one of the symptoms. It could be. It could be some people have bipolar. And that's the age group, remember? 21 to 31, they're getting manic and hypersexual and impulsive, right? So it can happen on Tinder and all these little other apps that I commonly hear the kids come in and say they got trauma because they dated someone on Tinder. But I was like, what do you expect? Because it is a hookup app. Like, it's
Yes.
hookup culture. And the kids that are not street smart enough, they're going to get traumatized by this, right?
Okay.
So I feel that what we're missing in life, and I think the new generation is a hookup culture, but they're also very loyal. So I feel like friendship is the way to go always. Friendship is what? Trust and communication. We skip that. So if I can just briefly explain, there should be an acquaintance, right? We just meeting. There should be a friend, which we have trust and communication. Then there's this weird classification called friends with benefits when you're in the middle stage of whatever you're doing, or NSA, or situationships, right?
Plenty of
Because there's no definition or
Definition.
whatever. And then relationship, okay?
That's right.
So in India, what I see happening here is we're jumping from acquaintance to straight up relationships. Here in America, we're jumping from acquaintances to friends with benefits,
That's right.
which is scarier to jump to a relationship
Relationship.
forever, by the way, guys.
Yes.
I'm not saying this is good, but I'm
Okay.
saying this is worse.
This is worse, yeah.
Where's the friends? And so in this process, there's another finger, which we never do. When someone hurts us in this process, they do not talk to me again.
Right.
They block, bro. Like, hello, don't talk to me.
It's over.
So
Something.
So this part is this. I always share this for people that have fear of abandonment because they always mess this up.
So very great explanation, actually. By the way, most of the
Thank you.
people.
So right now,
That's
Right.
that's what's not happening in this online thing.
Online
that's
thing,
why I
definitely.
went in a long explanation.
one thing is, so these are all the problems. This is what people are facing, and these are the problems. What are the solution for these problems? Like, do you have anything that our users or our listeners who are listening to you right now can do it at their home if they can analyze their problem?
Right. Like, I mean, so everybody's different, like we mentioned. Everybody has their own biopsychosocial. So coming in and getting that individualized is always the best option. But there are things to prevent mental health disorders, okay? There are the things called 5 ways of wellness.
Okay.
One is to exercise 30 to 45 minutes every day, sweating and doubling your heart
Working out.
rate, okay? Number 2 is to connect with 3 people outside the home every day. It should not be someone you're working with or at home. If you cannot have 3 people, a lot of people are that lonely, they don't have 3 people they contact, then it can be deeper conversations at home. Like, like I'll give you a COVID conversation I had with my dad. Like, Dad, why do you like this Rabindra Sangeet song? It's very depressing. Why do you like it? Like, why are we listening to it? This, that. And then he told me, like, oh, Lord's Morton, there was this bakery, we used to hear this song, and then me and Borja do blah, blah, blah. Right? So that's a whole memory that I would not have known had I not asked the deeper question, right? So that's the deepness, not like kikatsu, like what's for dinner? Like, we don't want that. We want a deeper way. Okay?
Right.
So that's a connect with 3 people outside the home. Okay? Then number 3 would be giving compliments or giving something to someone else. Like work, product, whatever it is. Making cha, whatever it is, something good. Because what that does is gets you out of your own brain and try to help others. So you only feel good by uplifting others.
Yes.
Like what we're doing today.
Right.
Okay? Number 4 is learning something new. There's plenty of new things. Music to AI to whatever you like. But learn something new, keep your brain engaged. Something you're not typically reading or studying. And number 5 is the deep breathing and mindfulness.
Wow.
So if you do these 5 things, you will be fit mentally.
I actually can relate this type of answers actually, because I also been through a breakup in last year. Okay,
You tried to do some of these things?
No. So I was very much
Don't lie. You were like sitting at home.
Yeah,
like,
obviously. In the first few days, I was like bed rotting. Like there's a concept of bed
Bed
rotting,
rot,
and
yeah.
I don't know what is that. Okay, so
Right.
I was like, I just opened. I just opened my YouTube. Okay, I just opened the YouTube and how to deal with breakups. Okay, that's my algorithm.
Now
for
you
the
can
month.
ask your chat, bro.
So-
If my chat's somewhere, you can ask him, man.
No,
You can
whatever
talk
it is.
directly to
So
him.
that's how I got an answer that at the time of depression,
Sure.
you just need to do some workout so that you can just burn out that energy
Yes.
which you are rotting in
And the
brain.
endorphins help
Yes,
to decrease
yes.
your sadness. So the endorphins elevation also increases serotonin and dopamine. So you feel great.
And right now I'm not totally healed right
Yeah.
now, but it happens, right? So for my perspective, there are many person right here, many audience who has recently breakup. Yeah.
Got it.
So how much time it takes to cope up with a breakup for any
Again, everyone's different. But
Yeah.
you know the stages of grief and loss, right?
yes.
Which is denial,
Yeah.
like you shock that it's happening, anger,
Anger. Yeah.
on yourself, on her,
It was
on your
her fault,
parents,
not mine.
on her parents, whatever the sort of situation, whatever it is, right? And then, which is bargaining. Like, it would have been different if I did this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that. Like where you're like,
Yeah,
like-
yeah,
and then
yeah,
some
yeah,
people even
yeah.
tell me now with this bargaining thing, which is interesting in India, I didn't do the right pujo. You know what I'm saying?
That's
bro?
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm
You know, we got
totally
those
getting. I
people.
totally get.
You know what's happening. We do that too.
We do that.
So let's be real here. Okay, and then depression.
Yeah.
So these 4 stages, denial, anger, bargaining, depression, can happen anytime. But to move into acceptance, that's the time.
Acceptance, yeah.
That
The real
is
man
the
need to
time.
accept.
Yeah, you know what I'd like for guys that had relationships to move through quickly is to get in their head. That was a good experience. I learned something from it. There was negatives, but you're making it too negative. There were some things you learned. Now the next things that you found negative, don't look for in a mate again. That's the actual telltale sign. We all have failures, bro. Bill Gates to Elon Musk
Yeah.
to like Steve Jobs, but we have to learn from those failures to have success, right?
Yeah.
So if we don't fail, we won't succeed. But if we all don't learn in acceptance stage, that's where I feel really horrible. Because then I
Acceptance is-
hear like the second one was bad, the third one was bad. I'm like, what? Like, why are you re-traumatizing yourself?
Right.
So always, we just need to tell the audience it takes time to accept certain things, right? Maybe some
Acceptance
people,
takes a while, and it
Takes a while.
depends on how
it's a
how you
phase
are.
related,
It
right?
depends on what your biopsychosocial, how good you are, how can you cope, how great your parents were, and healing you, all these.
Definitely so. So let's talk about another phase right now. Many people in India is facing, that is probably the failure. So if you see anywhere you enter, from business to government jobs to any private jobs, there are a lot many failures one have to face throughout their life.
Sure.
And let's take for the people who are pursuing government jobs. They are like, the numbers of opening are lesser than what you call any other thing, right? So people who are facing these failures every year, every time, and they are getting depressed, they are getting mocked by their parents. So what are the solutions to cope up with that failure? Let's say, as a founder, I've failed like couple of times, and I know how it feels. Like, you have given so much effort, so much time, so much energy, and you have put everything on the line, and yet the train didn't took off on time. So what is the solution? If and I know how it feels,
Right.
like you have lost everything you started. I what I used to do is to ignore people. I try to avoid people, don't like to talk with them, cutting off everyone in my life, keeping myself a bit alone. So
That
this
is
is
not good.
so
Remember the 5 ways of wellness.
5 ways. So
Connecting with 3 people outside the home. Why? Because you don't want to be isolated. So I know, but you have to deal with it the way you have to deal with it. I
Right.
get it. But first, let's go to society mindset. Society mindset is this: I'm actually shortcut ka jo hai, and I'm a zamindar. It's better than a doctor having a business. I'm just saying. I'm being extreme here. You know, everyone, I'm being extreme. But you get the mindset of that governmental job, and that is not okay. That's a lot of pressure, right? And number 2, what is your definition of success? What's your definition of failure? It's different for everyone.
everyone.
And you guys gotta chill out. Like it cannot be doctor, lawyer, engineer every time.
Right.
That's not success. I found out the hard way that I was gonna be a psychiatrist.
Right.
You know? I mean, everyone finds out their own calling at their time. Everyone's time is not the same time.
Right.
Okay, so I have a question in my
Yes,
mind. So recently I watched a Hollywood movie called, it's a horror movie actually. It's Exorcism of Emily Rose. Have you watched that movie? So you should.
can't watch scary movies because that trigger response is so
It's a kind of thing where there's a societal norm and there's a personal norm to the patient who are dealing with the horror and the demonic activities
Right.
happening. And the societal norm, why I'm saying the society perceive them like ये तो पागल है, she's a mad person, right? So there's that was the first time I heard the term called psychosis and the schizophrenia. So can you tell me the difference between the psychosis and schizophrenia and what are the symptoms of it so that the people can, I am having this kind of behavior in myself, so I need to consult someone right now. So
What is the right time?
It's
Yeah,
the
right time,
biggest, the biggest pet peeve of mine in India is when everybody calls a psychotic person schizophrenic.
yeah,
And it happens very
Very-
commonly, like even from doctors I'm seeing, which is not healthy, guys. So schizophrenia is a very serious disorder. It's one of the causes of psychosis. Psychosis means when we have impaired reality, when we either have delusions, auditory hallucinations, visual hallucinations, something like that, right?
okay.
So schizophrenia, you have 2 things. You have negative behaviors and positive symptoms, negative and positive. The positive symptoms aren't really positive, but they're treatable. They're the auditory hallucinations, this, that. The negative symptoms are more bizarre, and they let the person like never heal properly. So they're real chronically really bad.
Yes.
But the most common cause of psychosis, which is impaired reality, is actually bipolar disorder. Why? Because people are undiagnosed. They're not understanding the severity. Their parents are giving them stigma, and they're not allowed to come in until it's too late. So the severity then is way too high, right? Like I said, it's a progressive. So then you're losing your reality slowly, but they're not coming in while they're losing it. So that is bipolar disorder. Any mood with psychosis. So they're functional. They're talking. They're doing everything.
Okay.
Schizophrenia not so. And they rapidly decline. Their IQ becomes smaller, lower, because their brain size becomes smaller. That's what schizophrenia is.
So
So to
it's
call someone
diagnosed.
schizophrenic is very bad. It's a chronic mental issue that we have a hard time solving. We have to give injectables every 30 days because they won't take meds. But a bipolar person is someone who's sort of functional,
But because of the stigma of calling the pagal every time, they're like hesitant to get treatment.
Yes.
And therefore, whether you believe SSR committed suicide or not, that is the example, the bipolar example.
Right.
That would be a guy who's so normal, but has so much pain.
Yes, obviously.
Chester Bennington.
Yeah,
Chester
Bennington.
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams.
Robin is
So-
one of the prominent.
You just said so many, like you just talked about bipolar disorder, schizophrenia. So how many types are there? Like we actually don't know all the names. So can you please tell us some of the names that you, some of the problems that you have faced, and how the people came to you with those problems?
Sure,
Like I'm pretty sure everybody can't express those problems properly to you. So how do you judge that problem? And third is the solution that you provided to them. Like one by one, all those problems. Can you, if you,
Yeah, sure. So, like, the most common thing that I got popular for was autism. And I was in the DSM-5 for redefining that. DSM-5 is the Bible of our profession, and we're only Indian doctor in it. My Baba told me to brag about things you're supposed to brag about. This is something I'm proud about because it's a real honor. They chose our clinic to be part of the trials. We saw so many kids that had autism and previously known as Asperger's. So Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, recently Anant Ambani, all these people, if you look at their mannerisms, they have this Asperger's or autism.
Okay.
ASD
So,
level 1.
Elon Musk, I guess. He also
Elon Musk,
got-
they're saying that I
They're
don't
saying,
believe it.
okay.
Because remember we just talked about the
Yes,
drug
yes,
industry.
yes, yes.
That's what I believe. I don't know what's real. But these guys that have ASD or Asperger's, their memory and IQ is very high. But their social skills, as well as their common sense, is very low. So therefore they can't sometimes show that very early brain.
that's
Einstein had this as well. So Einstein dropped out of college. I don't know if you guys know this.
Yes.
And then went into a dark room and solved this theory of relativity. That's how severe Einstein was. So it's like they're very good puzzle solvers, not really social all the time, and feeling awkward socially. So that's one. That's
One.
autism.
autism.
That's one. Two is the mood disorders we just talked about,
Okay.
unipolar and bipolar depression. Okay? And there's adjustment disorders in that. Like if you have a breakup and you don't have these, that's an adjustment disorder. Because for
Adjustment.
long periods of time you're having different.
Right.
Three is our anxiety disorders, which are panic attacks, generalized anxiety disorder, separation anxiety disorder, social anxiety, all this stuff. So
Okay.
it's hard to tell the difference of these things, so that's why you need an expert somewhere. And then we have PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress disorder. That is something that has a horrifying thing that has happened to you, and you keep on visiting it over and over again. And you can't sleep, you can't think. So now there's a PTSD for children, because if you have a lot of domestic violence or a quarrelsome house, then you're actually having childhood PTSD. And childhood PTSD is leading us to personality disorders, which I mentioned earlier.
Right.
Like all the personality disorders, from borderline personality to antisocial personality, dependent personality. There's many personalities.
So what are the symptoms of this childhood PTSD if we just start? Because
And the childhood,
Starting-
same. Like it's like depends on the extent of the trauma.
okay, so
And,
if
and every person is different. So we did studies of children. Some people saw 9/11 on the TV, bar,
yes,
Same again and again.
okay,
and some people were there as a child. Okay?
That's right.
Yes, yes.
And what happened was we saw lower rates of PTSD in the children that were there, and were witnessing people die than the people that kept on watching it on TV, bar, playing video.
every time it happens and your brain
Exactly. So
actually
resiliency is a weird thing. We don't know why someone's more resilient than others. To call them like less character or weak, these are things I hate, right? Because why should someone be weak for having a symptom,
right.
right? It's like a fever, or if we equate it to a symptom, right?
Wow.
So the people get, they don't call people with fever weak.
Wow.
So why is this weak, right? Okay. So,
Okay, and let's come to the anxiety part.
Sure.
Like even few of my friends have this problem. They actually take medicine, but when I ask them what are the symptoms, like how you feel, I actually felt that they are unable to explain. And not only one person, few people I know who have this problem, take medicine, are unable to talk about this or explain how they feel when they are having this anxiety attack or panic attack. And there are multiple layers, multiple branches on this particular part, anxiety attack. So can you please tell us, like when you see any patient who are having this kind of symptoms, like what are the first few symptoms that we can track down first?
Yeah, first of all, like in India, because of the stigma, they go to every other doctor. So I can easily say cardiologist for increased heart rate. They go to the respiratory doctor for increased shortness of breath. They go to the GI doctor for gas. Okay?
Right.
I'll go on and on. They go to the gynecologist because their menses is off. And if you're a guy, they go to the urologist because you're having erectile dysfunction. All signs of stress, by the way.
Okay.
So that files used to come to me when I was a HOD in Eastern Europe hospital here, and Eastern Indian hospital here, and the files all were normal.
Okay.
And they still want to see the psychiatrist. Okay, so what am I saying? So you're having all these panic attacks, but you don't want to see the psychiatrist who will fix it in a week.
Right.
Whereas these guys are like putting you on the hook, right? So I mentioned the symptoms, which again, shortness of breath, increased diaphoresis, feeling like you're going to die, impending doom, they call it, and having like chest pain that's mimicking actual heart attack.
Wow.
Okay.
This kind of thing, like people
And
are
it's coming
facing-
through this.
It
If
is
you
com-
think about it, guys, like mind controls everything. The fact that I do this, my mind told me to do it. So you don't think it controls my internal organs? For sure it does. So that's what I'm saying. Like people don't get that.
So
It's
everything
so
inside
if we think about your body as a car shaft, right?
Right.
This first gear ka problem.
first gear,
First gear, to soch raha hai na, like no problem. Like we never need the first gear,
right?
but we actually do.
We actually need the first gear.
Right? Think about it.
How? So every problem is related some or the other way with here, right? Our mind. So and you actually gave us 5 ways to keep calm and keep
Keep
our
fresh.
fresh. And let's say now you have started your own startup, this good karma thing.
Yes.
So if people are unable to maintain these 5 things, how they can reach you and how they can actually get a good solution from you.
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll put our information in the bio.
Definitely.
I think I'm Dr. Ranjan Gosh. Good Karma was my brainchild. I am 3 things that I believe. That's why I came and did this program with Niti today. One is that I want everyone to reduce stigma of going to the mental health professional.
Yes.
Right.
Number 2, why I'm doing this today, is awareness. If we don't know we have a problem, then how do we talk about the problem? So awareness, even as young as preschool, because we are a very close society. We don't
Right.
allow people to talk.
Yeah.
Chapa.
Mm-hmm.
So we need them to talk. Number 3 is accessibility. And with Karma AI, I'm hoping to solve that issue.
Yes.
Because
Definitely.
we need mental health access for all. It's a universal right.
Right, sir. So let's say there are other problems that people know they have a problem and yet they don't want to tackle those.
Right.
Few of them are addiction is one thing. Porn addiction is another thing.
Right.
Alcohol, cigarette addiction is another thing. And if any of them or if their family members wants to solve this problem for their loved ones,
Consult
should
a
they
professional. They should consult a professional.
can consult a
Yeah,
psychologist.
I'm serious. Okay, so here's what I also like. In communities like you guys are trying to create, we have active listeners with good trained moderators that teach active listening. And that's good. That's a good first step. I'm not, because we'll have a shortage of mental health professionals very soon. Right? And we have it now, actually.
Right.
But nobody accesses it, so it's a lose-lose situation. But if we have all these active listeners and junior, people that mental health professionals, as I call them, that'd be great. I think it'd
Right.
be lovely. Okay? It helps people. But yes, if you cannot deal with it, there's nothing wrong with seeing a doctor. Is there anything wrong with seeing me? Like, I love making music. I love doing AI projects. I do things that I couldn't do in the US since I was working all the time. So here I can conceptualize and help my people the way I want to help them. So we have lovely like music programs like you're asking about Good Karma, because I can inflict so much change by making one song that 10 lakhs of people listen to,
Right. sir.
instead of like just one-to-one.
One-to-one.
Right.
So music can also be a part of therapy, right?
Of course.
Music can also be a part of
Check it out, okay? There's so many brothers raping and killing sisters. There's so many sisters
Right now.
killing and like betraying brothers. There's brothers killing other brothers. I thought the idea is to love one another. Open up the TO app to one more death. If y'all keep this up, there'll be no one left. I try my best to set an example, saying hype lyrics over hip hop samples, not just to brag or to boast, but to perform, because I'm living in that calm before the storm.
Great,
Oh,
sir.
that's nice.
That's really great.
Send on
That's
that note, but like,
So-
I just dropped the mic.
So you have spent so many years in US,
Yeah.
and you got so many of experience from there only. Can you please share a few of the experience you got there, and how India is far behind to reach that place where they can consult a therapist so easily?
Yeah, I guess so. Here's the difference. I think in the US, they overshare and they overdo things. They
Okay.
overdo it. There's extremes.
Okay.
Here, we are so society conscious. So there, it's like IDGAF, like I don't care. Here, we care too much.
Yes.
So there's got to be a middle ground that we can move to. That's why I came back. I love Indian culture, and I was scared of what I was seeing there about how many people were hurting others.
Right.
Right?
So
So here we're too concerned, and we're not allowing people to be free almost, and we're giving them this social consciousness to hurt them even further because of the judgment.
So, do you think that India, as a culture, if you just look India as a culture, it's one of the oldest civilization, right? And somehow that is getting declined for many reasons. Like people used to have a joint family, then they are cutting down to half, fights
Nuclear.
between family, and right now it is nano, right?
The nuclear family.
Nuclear
We are
family,
into
sorry.
a nuclear.
Yeah, yeah.
Nuclear family, right? Now it is cutting into a nuclear family.
Sure.
There was a time when people all wake up in the morning, do their puja archanas,
Sure.
have food all together with their family, come go to their work, come back home, spend good time with their family. And right now it is getting reduced pretty much. People are pretty much lonely, what we see. And as they are getting lonely, they are moving towards addiction. What we see, there are plenty of divorces that has happened, particularly because husband used to have first, definitely they are addicted towards alcohol or any something else, and there is another thing that is affairs, office affairs and all. So, are we as a civilization losing that cultural part? And is the right time for India to move more towards taking therapy from people, from doctors like you? Is it a good time for people in
I
India?
think, yeah, just not only me, but from psychologists that are trained, from any mental health professionals, because it is complicated. We are becoming more Western. We don't know how to do that.
You don't
why
know how to-
and why would we take negatives? I thought I'm
Yes.
teaching you the positives to take.
Right.
What am I doing with my time, right? Think
Right.
about it. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, you're going to have that party culture, the westernization. We're going to have to fight it because with the negatives come positives. So, we're going to have to fight that aspects. Like, for example, all the Mickey D's and all that, we got rid of that in the US long ago.
Right.
And now they're coming to prey on my people. So, if I don't say, hey, bro, I mean, dal bhat ke, I lost weight and I'm much healthier than eating a
Maggi.
burger every day at Mickey D's, bro. Of course I am. Of course. Just show my power. Huh? I don't have time, bro. Here, I have time to take care of myself. I have time for self-care. I have time to teach you guys self-care. It's like a whole different environment. So if we lose that even, then we're gone.
Then we are gone, like as a civilization, like let's
We're
say.
gone. Because, if you haven't noticed, US isn't doing so hot. So it's, that technically people say it's on a downfall.
Yeah,
Right
so
now.
Yeah.
Do we want to be a downfall so quickly when we're the highest rated country to go further in life?
Our civilization have been through, let's say, 1,000 years of slavery. If you see from Islamic
And
civilization,
just one thing again, there's this notion that only crazy people see psychiatrists.
Right.
I've had
Yeah.
very successful billionaires and millionaires of like big firms and companies come and see me and become even better. So that's a very bad It's meant for people that have a little bit of time and luxury to treat their brain. It doesn't mean that you lose control, and that's why you're coming all the time.
so you have been in US and you have been in India for quite long now.
Yeah.
So
25 years in US, 7 years here.
7
Career.
years. So you have
Technically.
definitely have saw both the clients in US who are getting divorced and in India as well. So
Yeah.
what is the most common reason in US of getting a divorce, and what is the most common reason in India of getting a divorce? And is there is any similarity that we can find here?
Yes. Financial, children, and infidelity. Here in India, a little bit added of in-laws.
In-laws.
Okay, yeah.
So those are the
So
three,
joint
big
fam-
three.
Joint
And
family
you know
can be
what's
a
ironic? Is
Yeah.
that they
There's a
always
joint
say,
family.
get married, your depression will go away.
right? Don't they always say that? Get a kid and your depression goes away. No, bro. Financially draining. Then you had a child. We never became friends.
Right.
So guess what? We're going to be attracted to others and get a divorce.
Yes.
Then, sir, like this thing that was happening, getting married, getting a child, and then there are
Yeah, the
plenty of
family's actually
marriages.
married in this culture, so it's a
Right.
different situation here. Because the families are your referees.
Right.
They're your superego, if you will.
So, what is the reason at this period or this time span, like people are getting plenty of affairs after having a wife and all? So, what is the big key point or what is the big chaos that people are choosing to have another
I
life
think they
partner?
always had it, guys. Like, I think you guys are just this. They were regulated heavily by society. Heavily. Like, Panchayat, like,
Right.
heavily.
in
Gram.
Gram,
I'm sorry,
right.
like the, outskirts.
Villages
It
and
was regulated, right? But then I feel like it's not regulated now that much, number one. And number two is that, of course, people are unhappily married. What do I see the most, guys? In couples, unhappily married. They got together because of pressure of 21 to 31, I have to get married.
Right.
Not when they wanted to or what they desired. It was a pressure, an innate pressure. Not maybe like you guys, but there are people that I know and that have seen me and that are very hip and very modern that have got the pressure, bro. And you know it all over India. You guys know it. You probably have the pressure right now to get married. But it's like, it's not done in the US.
Right.
So it's on your own volition. That's why people are coming in and out of relationship on their own volition. That also is not correct. But there has to be a middle ground, right?
So people right now who are already married and they are not
This is like their adultery.
right.
Instead of being like fixed
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Right.
and becoming friends or
Friends.
being fixed. And these guys are just saying, we can do whatever we want anyway.
Right.
So it's just not a good system either way.
So if let's say someone is married right now and yet they are not happy with their relationship, so is divorce is the only option, or is there is any way they can fix the relationship?
No. God. What's the last option? No winners in divorce.
Okay.
You should always engage in couples therapy. You should always try to rejuvenate why you guys got together in the first place. That loving moments that you've had. You have to try. Now,
Try-
if two people don't want to try, that's all I ask is that we need two people that want to try. And we need their wants and needs, and then we need a compromise.
Oh.
But if we don't have the number one thing, two people that want to try, I say no, better to go for divorce. People get shocked,
People
actually.
get shocked.
But I want them to get shocked. What would it be with this person not in my life? So I have to change or they have to change.
Hmm.
Or we both have to. That's
Right.
why I
It's a
say
great
that.
point, actually. It's a very great point.
So right
People-
now,
people laugh at me like, you're supposed to be the counselor bringing them together. Why do you bring divorce up in the first? To
First
scare them. To understand what it feels without that person up there.
So does that
I can
impact?
tell a lot by that statement, by the way. How they react, what they do to the spouse, or if they sit closer or further away. All these things happen.
so that was a great. It was a
Anything in closing, guys?
Definitely, sir. Like one thing I would definitely say that many audience from India must be watching you right now. Any message you want to send them so that people can take therapy as an option in their life when they are feeling down. Anything that you want to share them?
I mean, it's not a crime to express yourself. Expression, it's like I did a freestyle right here. You guys heard it right here, right now, right? So why did I do that? To let you guys know there's nothing wrong with expressing yourself the way you want to express yourself. Like, if someone looks down on that freestyle because I'm not perfect or I'm not the best or I'm not living a perfect life, that's BS. Nobody is perfect. There's no perfect human being. I want a psychiatrist or mental health professionals that have gone through it, that have survived it, and now that are thriving. I wouldn't want it either way. I wouldn't want someone who thinks he's a god or a deity that says that I've never made a mistake. That's impossible. Like I just said, without failure is no success. So you're trying to tell me none of those guys failed. That's not common.
Yeah.
But perfection is not a thing. Please understand that. And don't let people impose their will of perfection on you. Try to be yourself and try to express yourself. Seek mental health treatment or at least talk to a friend because it would really help you.
Thank you so
you
much,
very
sir.
much.
It was really great
Thank
to
you.
have a great conversation
Thank you.
with you. I'm pretty sure many of our audience is going to get lot much help from this podcast for sure. People who are not aware of their mental health problem definitely going to get some good insight from this, and definitely I hope that people choose to take a therapy rather than taking a very harsh decision in their life that can ruin their life permanently.
Please, guys.
Definitely, and
Suicide is not an option. There's so many other ways to deal with the situation. Your life is worth it. It doesn't feel like it maybe, but it really is worth it, and people do care.
And please, if you guys want to meet and have a conversation with Mr. Ghosh,
Yeah, Dr. Ranjan Gosh, also known as Doc G,
also,
in the
Doc
music
G.
scene also. So
Mr.
you look out for us.
please
Good
check.
karma.
Please
Good karma for life.
look for good karma. The definitely link will be in the bio. Please check and see you guys on our next podcast. Have a very nice day. Jai Hind.
Hi everyone! If you are a foodie and a motor fanatic, then this is just the place for you. Located in Newtown, this place is the hub for good food, merchandises, aesthetics, and crazy motors. The spot displays picturesque sunrises and sunsets that you can enjoy with your loved one. Please pay a visit and enjoy!